Hello, today is the 8th of December 2024. So today I'm going to talk about the lovely time that I had in Ireland with my friend Mario. So last weekend, from the 29th of November to the 2nd of December, he was there with me and we flew back together on the 2nd of December. And I was there already a week before he came. So my week was absolutely lovely. I did everything I wanted to do. I had such an amazing time with my family. We had so many laughs. I met up with the child that I used to babysit in Ireland and her mother. I met up with one of my colleagues that I used to work with. And these were challenges for me, but I took them on. And it wasn't challenging, like honestly I felt very confident, but these were challenges I set for myself to see how am I doing, how am I handling these situations. And honestly I changed so much. Even the fact that I wanted to meet up with them and ask them if they wanted to meet up also just shows how different I've become. And I was super confident and wasn't nervous before we met up. And with the colleague I was a bit more nervous, or I was thinking about it more, but once I was actually with her I was completely confident in myself and didn't always second guess myself, which I usually always did around her. Didn't focus on the mistakes that I made and stuff. But yeah, and I spent so much time with Akela, our dog. We were always together every single day, and me and Alana went to the cinema as well to watch Paddington 3, so we had a lovely time together. And then when my friend came over, I was so excited. I really couldn't believe it was happening. I couldn't really grasp it, but I was so excited and also nervous, but mainly excited. The first day that he was there, we went to the cliffs of Moher because that was his main priority. He really wanted to see that. So he also had to drive on the other side of the road and so on, and I had to direct him and really keep an eye out on the road with him because he's never driven on the other side of the road, and he also doesn't know the Irish roads. They're very narrow and bendy, and a lot of them are quite dangerous. So I was really aware in the car, and we didn't talk that much when we were in the car because we were both really concentrating on the road and where we were going. And also for some reason something was bothering me the whole time. The first day in the morning I wasn't even able to eat because something inside of me was so nervous, and it kind of felt quite unbearable. It felt a really strong nervousness, and it really kept me from eating anything. And the entire day I barely ate anything. And at first I didn't know exactly what was going on, but I kind of knew that I had this certain expectation of this holiday, a certain vision in my mind and some hope, that maybe something would grow, or I don't know, something would happen between us, or just see if that's a possibility. I think I had this sort of vision that this was going to be an amazing, unforgettable holiday and just so magical and whatever. And then the first day I was just really scared that that wasn't going to happen, and that I was going to be extremely disappointed at the end of it. Yeah, my mom was there for me when I needed her, and she hugged me and comforted me and just said it's going to be okay and so on. But the first day, really my thoughts just ruined it kind of for me. So even when we were at the cliffs, I was so excited and happy to be there with him, but mainly my thoughts were so focused on something else that I couldn't really enjoy the moment. I couldn't really actually see how beautiful the cliffs are. I was much more in my mind than I was present with him. And my thoughts were just so strong and really taking up all my focus that at some point I was like, oh my god, this holiday is gonna be ruined, like it's such a big disappointment. Like, and then of course thoughts as well, like, Leona, you went through the Thrive program, you should know how to deal with this now, you should be able to let go. Like, why aren't you letting go? Why are you ruining this for yourself? You should be able to handle it better. Like, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be like this, and you shouldn't be not able to eat. Like, every time I tried to eat something, I felt like I needed to throw up, and then like I didn't feel that throwing up part in my body, but like immediately when I smelled food or saw food or imagined myself eating food, there was like this, oh, I can't. So yeah. Then after the cliffs we went to La Hinch, which is a town right beside the cliffs, and we ate something there. Well, he ate something, I ate like 5 chips. That's when I kind of had a small breakthrough, I'd say, because that was like my low point again when eating, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not able to eat, like what the hell is happening to me? Like, I was kind of scared about that because usually I'm able to eat. And then I remembered, yeah, I did have this at like before in my life, and obviously I got out of it, so this is not going to last forever. It's going to be fine. As soon as I know why it's there and find the answer, it's going to disappear. So it's not something that's going to stay forever. I don't need to be afraid. But then I basically just texted mom and was like, is it okay if I don't eat anything? Like, is it okay if I don't force myself to eat, but just, you know, relax, it's going to be fine? And I just kind of told her what was going on. And then when my friend was gone to the bathroom, I had this small moment where I remembered something I learned from the Thrive program, which was that it's not the situation that is stopping me from eating, it's my thoughts about it. So as soon as I change my thoughts, as soon as I solve them, let go of them, I'll be able to eat again. Basically, that gave me the feeling of control back, like it was in my control. It wasn't like something was happening to me and something was keeping me from eating. It was my own thoughts, which are changeable, and I have the power to change them. But yeah, there was something in that moment which kind of just clicked, and I was like, it's okay, like I don't need to see this as a horrible thing. It's just my thought patterns, and you know, I will be fine again. And it's not the situation that is scaring me, it's my thoughts about it. Anyway, we had a nice time there, and then we drove home again. At home then, I immediately felt safer, and I was like, whew, I'm home, I'm with my family, nothing's gonna happen to me. Like, we drove everywhere safely, we arrived everywhere safely. It was a nice day, but somehow still quite disappointing because my thoughts kind of ruined it. But also at the cliffs, we sat down for a bit at some point, and then I just kind of talked to him about how my thoughts are quite a lot at the moment, and that I kind of have this expectation of this holiday, and that like I'm afraid I'm going to be disappointed and so on. And honestly, like talking to him about it helped already. At home though, this disappointment of like this holiday is going to be ruined and this day wasn't good and so on got completely turned around, and it was like, wow, this is amazing, because him, Alana, mom and me, we all played a game of Who Am I together. In English, I don't know, it's called Stop the Bus or something, but from the German translation it's Who Am I? And it was so fun, like we laughed so much, like it's not even funny how much we laughed and how many inside jokes we're gonna have now and remember for the rest of our life, or like for a long time anyway, and how like we really just bonded, and it was so like natural and so fun. And like Alana, him and me went to a small restaurant then as well later on in the evening, and we had an amazing time there, and able to eat 1.5 pizza slices, which was more than the rest of the day. So I could see I was feeling more like comfortable and more, you know, confident and stable. But yeah, he especially was like, I just want to go home again quickly and keep playing, because we had so much fun. And then when we came home, we continued playing until like 11:30 or something in the night. And oh my god, we had so many laughs and we had so much fun. And in that moment, I really completely turned around the judgment that I had of the day, and I was like, this is such a lovely day, and I could then feel the potential of like, this holiday can be amazing, even if it doesn't turn out the way I envisioned it, but it can be absolutely amazing. It's something I'll never forget. And looking back, it absolutely was. So the next day we went to Galway, and I feel like that's when we kind of were more relaxed with each other, or I felt more relaxed, even though that day I didn't eat anything either, like barely anything. I did like grab a cookie here and there when I felt like I, you know, was able to, and I kept trying to eat a bit, but like I didn't force myself. And that was okay, and I wasn't afraid, because I knew like it was gonna go away again and I was gonna be able to eat again. So it's not, yeah, I wasn't really afraid, but still the first day it did really pull me down quite a bit, because I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? So in the morning then of the second day, I was speaking to Mom, because the thoughts were still really strong and really taking up my focus, and you know, I was afraid that I was going to be disappointed and so on about this holiday. So I just kind of spoke to her, and then when speaking to her, I also cried, because I then noticed like I wasn't able to eat, or felt like I couldn't eat, because again of my control issue. It was kind of the same pattern as when the uncomfortable feeling in me came up. So the uncomfortable feeling years ago was there because it was trying to control me about who I would fall in love with. So I felt trapped, I felt captured, I felt like I wasn't allowed to do certain things, I wasn't able to do certain things. And then this, I noticed, because it's so strong, because it's keeping me from eating or feeling like I can eat, I knew that it had something to do with control. So I was trying to control myself in a certain situation, in a certain area, but I didn't really know what. And then when talking to Mom, I noticed it was trying to control me not to do something I'll regret. That was the point. Because basically, I like him a lot and I am open for more. I also know that if we are just to stay friends, I know that I am such a lucky person and I am so grateful I have him in my life, and he would be the best friend I could ever imagine. But nevertheless, I'm still open for more and I'm interested in more. But at the same time, I don't know if he feels the same way. And I don't want to overstep things in case I ruin it, or in case I completely regret it, or, embarrass myself so much that I won't be able to handle it, or that I'll lose the friendship, or whatever. So I was trying to keep myself from taking any step, and instead of just being able to decide, okay, I'm not going to do anything, the control stepped in to really stop me from doing anything. And because I felt like I couldn't eat, something was bothering me the whole time, so I didn't feel stable enough or didn't really want to take a step. I didn't feel the most comfortable around him, and also the thoughts about taking a step suddenly made me feel unstable, made me feel uncomfortable, kind of, not as much as in the past, but still I was like, no, maybe I actually don't want that. Like maybe I don't, maybe it's not the right thing, and it did make me feel a bit uncomfortable. So Mom's tip to me was to just make a decision that I'm not going to make a step, so that the control doesn't have to control me not to make a step, but just decide, okay, I'm not going to make a step. I'm going to just enjoy this as much as I can with my lovely friend. And as soon as she said that, I noticed how, yeah, there was these two parts of me that were constantly fighting over and back. A part of me that was like, you know, I finally want something in my life. Like, I finally want a relationship. I finally feel ready to do so. I finally feel comfortable enough around someone. Like, this is a big thing for me. Like, for years I was struggling with this, and I was like traumatized and blah blah blah, and the fact that now I can imagine having a relationship with someone is just a big thing for me, and it's very healing as well. But at the same time, the other part of me was still so terrified and was like, no, maybe I'm not ready, maybe it's not the right thing, maybe I'll feel too uncomfortable, maybe I'll regret it, you know, like, I don't know if I'm really ready yet or stable yet, or what if I get too embarrassed, what if he doesn't want that at all, and like, I don't know. There was this other part of me that was like, no, not yet, definitely not. So there was these two parts constantly fighting over and back, and I was like being torn in between them. And so that's how I felt so unstable the whole first day. And yeah, but then when Mom told me, like, just decide you're not gonna do anything, I immediately was like, breathe. And I immediately felt more comfortable, more at ease. I could again imagine eating something without feeling like I can't. I was like, oh, so much more relaxed, and I was like, yeah, that's actually what I want right now. I want to just enjoy this to the fullest that I can with an amazing friend that I made this year, and the first time I actually really like someone as much as I like him, and I haven't had a friend like this in years, or actually ever someone like this, and where I'm just so myself around. So yeah, I was like, yeah, that's actually exactly what I want right now. And so I decided on that, and then I was feeling so much better. And in the car, I felt more relaxed, we were talking more, we were listening to music and kind of like humming along, which I felt like I was almost able to like sing along and be that open with him, but I didn't do that yet. I was still too shy, but I feel like at some point I'll be able to do so. Like with my sisters, we can like sing along and be crazy when listening to music and so on. We just love it, and we're so funny then, or like in a funny mood, and I almost felt that comfortable around him to like actually just, you know, let go and like sing and be crazy, but not yet. Anyway, but that was nice also to see I'm feeling that much myself around him. In the bus to Galway, we continued playing the game that we played the evening before, and that was actually really funny and really nice, and I feel like we got closer there as well. And then in Galway we spent only like 2.5 hours or something, but that was actually so lovely, and yeah, we had a great time there. And then on the train back, he showed me so many pictures and like chats on his phone. He was like doing everything in front of me on his phone, and I was like, okay, he's very relaxed about all of that, which was like nice and fun. And I got to see a lot of his memories and his travels to, yeah, whatever places he's been to. Yeah, that was nice. And then we arrived with the train, but still had to drive another hour home, and that's when I kind of popped the question, like, why he's not in a relationship, if he's like scared or just not interested in anyone, or if he doesn't want a relationship. Kind of, I was just like, you know, why not ask him? I'm just gonna take this step and like risk it. But there was nothing really to risk, but I was like, I kind of want to, like, that's a question that's been in my mind for a while, so why not ask him? And I think we're close enough to ask these questions, and I know that like if he wouldn't want to answer it, he would just say it, and like it's fine. But he basically said that he doesn't want a relationship, and that even if he was in love with someone or would fall in love with someone, that he would still decide to stay single. So I was like, in my mind, okay, there's definitely something that's keeping him, like, even though he said he's not afraid, but if you're not afraid, or if there's not something holding you back, then if you would fall in love with someone, you would want to be with them. So I feel like there is definitely something that's holding him back. And maybe it's just the fear, because he said he wants to stay single because he wants to keep doing the things that he's doing now. He doesn't want to be obliged to like always do something with the other person and always be like stay in contact with them every day and stuff. And so I feel like his fear might be that he's not allowed to be the way he is now anymore, and that he so has to like restrict himself or whatever. I just said, okay, well, if you meet the right person, then you don't have to change who you are. Like, that's not what a relationship is supposed to be. You should feel more like yourself. And then he was like, I don't know, he was more like, no, he just definitely wants to stay single. And I'm like, okay. So first I was really disappointed, because I was like, okay, so all those moments where I thought maybe he wanted something more as well, or maybe he considered it, that all those moments were just in my mind and they weren't true. Which, first of all, doesn't mean they weren't true, it just means he just wants to stay single. But still, in that moment when I heard him say that, like he wants to stay single, I was like, oh, okay, so I was just making everything up. He definitely only sees me as a friend. He doesn't want me as anything else. And I was like, okay, so there's really no hope. So I just need to stop hoping and so on. And that was obviously stupid. But the thing is, I was really disappointed at first, and also he didn't want to continue talking about it. He kind of said, yeah, I don't think it's the right time or whatever, and then he turned up the music, and I was like, okay, you definitely don't want to talk about this. So I kind of like made a joke about it then, like or like play, like, I don't know, but anyway, it's fine. We didn't talk more, but that also was a bit of a struggle for me, because I'm someone who always has a lot of questions, and with this I had so many questions, and I was like, in my mind I now had to deal with all these questions by myself, and I had to not ask him. In the end he said, like, it's fine, if I really want to talk about it we can, but I then didn't continue talking because I felt like he really didn't want to, so we didn't. But also the other part, which was a good part, was that I noticed I, want to focus on myself more. Because if I feel like so shaken or so unstable by someone else just telling me like they don't want a relationship right now or they don't want to be with me, then it's not good for me, because everyone in my life can leave me, disappoint me, say no to me. So I learned in that moment that I want to be my main focus and my main priority, and that I want to find myself and be okay with myself, so that when other people disappoint me or say no to me, that I'm still stable, that I'm still confident, and I'm not immediately like shaken and torn apart by it. Because I did notice when he said no, I noticed how extremely disappointed I got, and how I like beat myself up basically the whole time, saying like, wow, you really just imagined everything, like there's no hope, like really you're just gonna stay friends, like there's nothing more gonna happen, like. And again, all those thoughts were right, basically, that he's never gonna choose me and blah blah blah. So yeah, and I'm grateful for what he said, because then I noticed, I've been pushing myself away a lot and have been prioritizing other people over myself, and that's just not good, and I don't want to do that. And in that moment I was ready to prioritize myself, to focus on myself, find myself again, so that I can be stable within myself and then handle whatever else is to come. So yeah, at the end of the day, it was good. also disappointing. So that's when, like, the whole evening when we were playing games, there was constantly this reminder of like, wow, this is so disappointing, this is so, like, yeah, again, thoughts beating me up and so on. But yeah, anyway, apart from that coming up in between during the evening, the other moments that I had were hilarious and so fun. Everyone, like Alana and my friend Mario, they both said that the second evening was their favorite part of like the whole holiday, and that we had so many laughs, and I had an actual laugh attack because my sister pointed out that every time I laugh hard, that I always breathe in so heavily to catch my breath again, and then I breathe in so loud. And then when I was laughing, he kept pointing it out to me, and then I couldn't stop unhearing it. And every time I then laughed really hard, I breathed in so hard. And then that was like this cycle the whole time, because it kept making me laugh because I was trying to like not breathe in so heavily. But then when I was laughing about how heavily I breathed in, then when I breathed in again, I noticed it, and it was just so funny. It was like I wasn't able to stop. I really wasn't able to stop laughing, and it was so funny. I was like crying tears and trapped in this like laugh attack. And then he joined me and he was laughing so hard as well, and he was crying tears too, and it was so funny. And then again, we made so many memories of like inside jokes because we were playing Who Am I again, and yeah, we just created this amazing like amount of inside jokes, and we just had so much fun. And the next morning, Alana joined me and Mario, and we went to a small town that's like half an hour away from us, and he had Irish breakfast, and we just spent some time there. And then we came home and collected Akela from the house, and then we went into Mount Shannon town, which is where we live, and then just showed him around the harbour and the park, and he absolutely loved it. Like, he said that was one of his favourite moments, because we were all there, and he loves Akela too, and it was really, really nice. Like, honestly, it was beautiful. Then we got ready to go to the airport. Yeah, we said goodbye to Mom and Alana, and I had like tears in my eyes also saying goodbye to Akela. I really didn't want to go back. I really didn't want this holiday to be over. And it's not that I don't like Spain and don't like living here. I do, but I really, really miss my family, like, and Akela especially. And I was just so sad that the holiday was over. Like, I just didn't want that to be true. Especially the time with him there as well. Like, I was so sad. But yeah, I still had some hours left with him during the travel back to Spain, so we kind of played Sudoku before we went into the plane, and on the plane we sat beside each other and watched a series together, actually, which was kind of a bonding time. I feel like I always bond with people when I watch movies with them for some reason, even though you don't really talk much, but I don't know, it's something that's really special to me. Yeah, the talks we had in between there were just nice too, and I don't know, when I look back on the travel, like, I just keep remembering that moment on the airplane when we were watching a series together. And it was quite an intense series, and especially the episode that we watched was very intense. And the fact that he felt comfortable enough watching that with me just kind of, I don't know, yeah, it was just nice. And the fact that I felt comfortable enough watching that with him was also like, wow, I changed. He had his car parked at the airport, so he drove us back, which is about an hour of a drive, and during that drive we had a really nice conversation as well about my relationship with Dad and how it used to be really difficult, and sometimes it was still a bit, scary and blah blah blah. So we had a really, really nice conversation, honestly. Yeah, and then we hugged each other and said goodbye, and he just said how much he's gonna miss everything and how he's really sad that it's over. But when I then arrived home, he just texted me like at midnight or something. He randomly kept texting me how he can't stop laughing when he's thinking of everything that happened. And he told me he's so sad and misses Akela and Alana, and how these are just memories we're gonna keep forever, and these inside jokes are always gonna be a part of us and the time we had together. I just loved me and Alana taught him some inside jokes of us, the ones me, Amy and Alana had for years already. It was so funny because he understood it and he actually went along with it, and it was wow, he gets it, he's now a part of us. And he just said that he really felt like he was a part of the family and that he feels so comfortable around us and he would immediately move in with us. And how he said he doesn't say that easily, that he felt so at home and part of the family, but he really did with us, and he can't say it differently. He just said he really felt like he was part of the family. And yeah, all of us really, really like him. My entire family really likes him. And for me to say that about Dad, that Dad likes someone, is a big thing because he doesn't like a lot of people. And I as well, when I was trying to fall asleep that evening, I just couldn't stop giggling because I was also thinking about the laugh attack and how funny it was, and so many inside jokes. It was just an absolutely amazing time. And looking back as well, I am so freaking proud of myself, because a couple months ago I would have never done anything like that. I would have been so scared, first of all, to invite him over. I would have been so anxious traveling around Ireland with him, going outside of my house, going to different places and cities especially as well, Galway and stuff, and talking to strangers as well, going into different shops, ordering food, eating in front of someone else like him. And so many things I would have been so anxious and nervous about, but I was fine talking to strangers, ordering food, talking to people in shops, or just being in a city and being with him, and us two driving together to places alone and managing everything, traveling alone, and that I wasn't even really nervous about that. I wasn't second guessing myself, and I wasn't oh no, am I a weirdo or whatever. I was confident, and I was I can do this, and I'm doing it. And I didn't even think about can I do this or not. I just did it. And then afterwards I was whoa, I just did that. And a couple months ago I would have been so nervous and always second guessing myself. So I can really see the progress I've made since I started the Thrive program, and how much I've learned, how much I've changed. This holiday itself just proves to me I'm a different person, but someone so much closer to someone I've always wanted to be. And honestly, the holiday, even though there was some struggles as well along the way, and the first half of the first day wasn't the best, and I was so close to giving up hope that this holiday was gonna turn out good, and I was my thoughts are gonna take control of me, and everything I've learned through the Thrive program I'm gonna lose, and I'm gonna be depressed again, and everything's gonna be ruined in my life, and blah blah blah. But yeah, now looking back, the holiday really was everything I could have wished for, and I did want an answer as well to see if there is a possibility something more could happen between him and me, and I got that answer. For now, he doesn't want a relationship, but it still doesn't mean that he'll never want one. It still doesn't mean that he isn't interested in me in that way. Even though I'm less holding on to the hope now, and I'm more focused on myself, and less focused on him. I'm still like, I don't have to like fully exclude that possibility from my mind. Like it doesn't mean like it's 100% a no and will never happen. It's just for now and right now and blah blah blah. But I did get the answer that I wanted, and looking back, the happy moments were so much more amazing and important than the not so happy moments. So looking back, it really was everything I could have wished for. It was amazing. So yeah, that's that. Thank you so much for watching. Please take this as like proof that you can do it, and you can absolutely turn your life around, and you can turn your day around, not just your life, but if you take it day by day. If the day starts off horrible and your thoughts are horrible, you can absolutely turn that around, because the day is not over. It can absolutely turn around and turn out to be the most amazing day, because that is what happened to me too. Or that's what I created for myself too, because in the evening we created this lovely environment for one another and had an amazing time. So yeah, and take this as proof that if you feel so unstable in your life, there is that version in you which is everything that you want for yourself and everything that you wish for, and you can absolutely turn into that version of yourself. So keep going and don't give up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.